and trying to distribute the work so that you all have work to do. It seems to all be going pretty fast here. But now what we're doing this time is we're getting up to the roof. Now I've got a hole in my roof and you don't. So you're going to have to make a hole in your roof. That's one thing. Now the question comes is, how do you make a hole in the roof? And what size is it? There's an interesting thing that happens to a round stovepipe when it goes through a slanted roof. It doesn't take a round hole. It's an oblong hole. And if you were, one of the things I remember doing really fun, when we had about a 6-foot chimney installed and we hadn't gone through the roof yet, we put a big flashlight in the bottom and shot it up to the underside of the roof. And you could see this oval that was up there because of the slant of the roof to have to line it up. So our first objective is we have this installed here. And what we would like to do is have a hole through the roof that's approximately 2 inches larger than the chimney for fire clearance. Okay, so we don't want it tight at all this time. We want about 2 inches larger. We could get a little sloppy. It could be 2.5, even 3, and the flashing will cover it. You get 5 or 6, we may be in trouble with a hole in the roof and rain. But so we would like to have it approximately 2 inches bigger than the thing. Here's a couple of interesting tricks that I've gotten from different people in the trade. The first one is to use a magnetic level, and you all have one around the stations, I believe. Are they out? If they're not, they'll be there soon. If you take a magnetic level, and notice that the insulation shield that we installed in the last session, you weren't here, but in the last session we installed the insulation shield, it's 2 inches larger than the chimney because it's giving us that distance of protection. So if we were to just stick our magnetic level on this, it will help. You know, this one is barely going to stay, but if you run it up, then you could mark the spot where you need to cut on the top. Okay? Now in our case, we can't do it down here because it's too tight, but let's go to our square or any straight little piece of wood, and we can hug this side and go up and mark the bottom. Okay, so now what you're doing is you're taking your felt markers and you're marking the inside. And then the left and the right is pretty easy because you just take these things and run them up this way, and you get one side and you get the other side like that. And that gives you the end points. You can see you make it more or less a nice oval. I've got a cabinet maker making mine so they're really clean as you're going through. So that'll get you set up where we have marks inside the attic, but it's not always convenient to cut inside the attic. Sometimes you can if you've got enough room. This one we would have room, but attics are not good places to cut. And we already got a chimney in the way, so we're probably going to cut on the top. So don't want to take measurements and try to transfer them to the top of the roof. I guarantee you'll miss. You know, one of the rules in all woodworking, whether it's fancy cabinet making or whether it's just carpentry, is if you can leave your tape measure in the box, do so. Particularly if you want to add, subtract, or multiply numbers, forget it. If you can measure somehow directly and not have to even know how many inches it is, and we can do that here with a nifty little measurement tool called a drill, because all I got to do is drill a hole here, and I know on the outside exactly where I need to cut, and I can drill a hole down here and a hole over here and a hole over here and then draw the lines between them. And so what we'll get, let me just cheat down here just because I want to show you some stuff. So we'll come up. So we'll say that's where we want to cut in down there. Okay? Now, I'm only doing this because I want to actually demonstrate cutting in. So we've got a hole through, you go up to the roof, and now you really know where things are. And we want to come across there. So we're going to use a sawzall, or not a sawzall, a reciprocating saw to do it. Now we got some cool little DeWalt reciprocating saws for you. By the way, we give away these tools tomorrow to everybody. So this one I hadn't seen before. It articulates, isn't that cool? You like that, huh? Battery operated, and it goes like that. Now, what we need to do is make a plunge cut. You could take the drill and make a bunch of holes in a line, and then you can drop the blade in and cut around. But we're going to do a plunge cut because we got to make you work a little bit. So normally, the blades on these things go this way. This is the standard way to go. This is where the trigger is if you need it. That opens that up. And the blades go this way. Now, by the way, we don't have a lot of blades, so you're not allowed to break them. Okay? So this is, now, that's going to go. We even get a light that shines and shows where it's going. The problem is it's not long enough to do a plunge cut. And by the way, when it is really long enough, half the time you bend the blade because you try to do the plunge cut and it jams. Okay? So what one trick is, you see, this is a long ways away from the edge. So if we reverse the blade, and it does reverse, and put it in the other direction, now I'm close to the edge. Okay? So that allows me to bring it up like this. So let me just find a pair of glasses here. I saw a bunch of them sitting around here. These are glasses, I believe. But we got lots. You can take your glasses home with you. Well, there it is. Oh, it even comes in a nice little satchel, like that. So let's see how this can go. Yeah, where are you going? You're going to come. Why don't you come right up here? I think that's going to be easier for you. So now I'm going to hide everything because she's going to bring it. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. So what we're doing, it would be nice just to plunge in, but it's not quite ready. So we're going to get close to that hole. I don't want to stick my blade in or it'll bang. And when it bangs really hard, it bends. You see, it wants to bend like that. So we're going to start up in the air. I put this down on the bottom. I got a firm hold. We make sure it's going. And I bend up into the cut. You see how easy it is to get in there? Okay, if you have it firm, you lean it on here. You're not in the air. If you're in the air, you're doing a pogo stick. Okay, and I guarantee you'll bend the blade all over the place. And so you just start, then swing that up, bring it down slowly, and you're able to go off and cut. Okay? And you should mark it out ahead of time so you know the oval that you want to cut. And I would suggest that just for the fun of it, you do half the cut, one of you, and then turn to your partner and let your partner do the other half of the cut. We can't have all the fun. Okay? So we get to share that one. That'll get us a hole. And then once we have a hole, what we're going to want to do here, I like to follow my list to make sure I'm doing this right. So we have this thing. The list you'll see says to install blocking. If this is a really tall chimney and the instructions that you get from the manufacturer say at that height you actually need support at the roof level. In our case, all our support is down here, and we can put this 5 feet sticking out with no more support. We're fine. Okay? So if there's going to be support at the roof level, you'll have to put blocking in the way we did at the ceiling for a whole support unit that will hold more weight. But in most of these normal installations, all of the support is down here. We just go through the roof, and the flashing kind of helps hold it in place. And if we get up as high as 5 feet, and we'll do this later, we actually put on some attachment bars that come out and hold it against snow flow and everything else. Okay? So we get that cut up there. We are not going to be doing blocking, although it's on my list. We cut out that hole. We drop a section of the chimney into place. So we take off this cap, and let's see, you got a chimney for us over there? Oh, by the way, same thing, the other people that broke open the chimneys, when you open the chimney from the box, and watch him do this, as he opens that up, we're going to inspect both ends of the chimney. Because if you weren't here this morning, what I explained is that in transport, often the insulation moves to one side, compacts. And we need to make sure that it's not sticking out too much or not sticking out too little on both sides. Now you want to show that to the camera and tell us what you think about it. Turn on his mic. Is that right? Is that good on the bottom? Or is it too compact on the bottom?
No, this is settled quite a bit.
That's down quite a bit. Okay, now watch him do this. See, it's not much. What we're doing, now you see how that moved? The reason that's important is if you get it too far out, it'll be really hard to put two chimney sections together. If it's not far enough out that those two sections that the insulation compresses, you have a ring of no insulation. And that can burn through. Okay? So you need to do that. Make sure this one doesn't bulge out too much, like it's just nice and comfortable there. Then we're going to come in. Do you have the attachment ring? We should drop that in first. Yep. So let's talk about this attachment ring. Come out here for you. So attachment ring comes with it. And it's really a cool sort of gadget in that it has, let's see, I'll tell you what, we'll change places because I can't see the screen, so I don't know what you're showing them. There we go. Dancing here. Okay, there we go. So you see how this thing has a little finger, it comes in, what do we go? We go inside, I would assume. And then on the top, it really just catches it, real easy. You see, and I can force that a little bit more to make it catch tighter, whatever it needs. So it allows you to easily put this over. There's a double rim on here that grabs one chimney, grabs the other chimney, holds them together. Then the thing we will not do, but that you need to know, we will not do it simply because we want Habitat for Humanity to be able to use these chimneys later. There are screw holes for screwing it in. Here, well, right next to it, here and here. And so this would then be screwed into place right into the chimney. We're not going to do that because we'll leave these chimneys so they're in good shape for the real use by Habitat for Humanity. But we are going to put this in and clip it in, and that'll lock the two pieces together. So this could go on later, but it's easier to pop it on now. So we'll drop that into place. Okay, you want to go up the stairs with the chimney and all guys? No, you can stay out here with me. And you might want to think about which end goes in first. As you're going to drop down, get your fingers out of there. You want to wear gloves maybe. Okay, so he's fitting that in. Now lift it up again, make sure we got our camera here right. Okay, so you can see I got a socket here. Come on down in there. Get our fingers out of there. That has to go in, and then it has to be forced down. It doesn't screw in or lock in. It goes down, and then you can check. And this doesn't clamp quite yet, so you need a little more force to come down. Yeah, that made it. Now I can feel this is fitting in, and we'll be able to lock that together. Okay? So we'll pop that off for now. Well, leave it right there. Yep. What do we want to do here? So we drop it into place. Now we want to see if we got any problems with the roof. Like, did you make your hole really bad? Okay? So we're going to take the roof flashing and just set that. I'll let Andrew go up and do that. Set that into place. And it's going to fit kind of loosely on there. Now, one thing to notice, slide that up a little bit, Andrew, and show how with different slopes on the roof. Okay, stop there, come down closer. Now, show the camera. You see how it moves from one position to another? So it accommodates for different roof slopes, like that. Accommodates to a certain extent, and then you have to get a different one if you have a really steep roof slope. So that comes in, and you make sure that in fact all the way around we can see everything, that we don't have an exposed attic. We don't have too big a hole. There's a lot of room for play there, so that pretty well takes care of it. So we're going to just check that out, and then the next group, the next challenge will actually be installing this and doing the rest of the work up there. You're going to do one piece of shingling here. So let's pop this off for the moment, just get it out of our way. Yep. So you've checked that, and then it's got to be removed anyway to do the shingling. Now, I'm going to do a little lesson piece on shingling. Although the next group's going to do most of the shingling. How do you start with the first piece? Well, we have this paper that goes on first, so that should be down here, coming down, okay, the roofing paper. And it might even be an elastomeric strip if that's what you're using in your area. So you've got something there. When you're ready to start the shingles, what do you do with the first shingle? If I put my first shingle on like that, you can see the wood right through the tabs. That's not going to work. It's not protected. So flip it around. Okay, so let's flip it around and see if that works. What do we do when we flip it around? And what we have right now, and you'll notice it as you put the other shingles on, is we have a fat space here because we got more underneath this shingle than on any other shingle running up the roof. So it doesn't look good. It's got a bump. Secondly, on this front edge, there's no glue. And so when another shingle comes here, it actually would be like this with the tabs, and the tabs are not glued down. So the tabs are going to blow off in the wind. A real starter strip, if you buy starter strips, actually looks like this because it's half a shingle and it's got glue on the bottom. And the reason that, and then we can nail right here. We can nail right there. You won't see the nails, they'll be covered up. You always nail right above the glue anyway, okay? And then we can, when the shingle goes on top, there's this piece that's underneath and there's glue on the edge. Okay, you don't have a starter strip. Andrew, you want to come help me out here and hold this? Let's see if we can make this. We're going to show you how to make a starter strip. All we're going to do, first of all, this is the best knife to do it. It's got a nice little hook on there, because it goes, if you use a regular knife, you're cutting into the granules and really messing up your knife really quick. I'm actually cutting from the bottom. So I go underneath the bottom. Let's drop that a little bit more. I'm going to go just below the glue and then come along here and just cut the tab off. And by cutting the tabs off, and you're going to do this on your shingles. You got shingles there. Now, as I say, they make a starter strip that's made just right to start with. But if you don't have it, you can still do a perfect job. Then you want to grab the hammer and some nails. Now, we're going to cheat a little bit just to save money for the conference. And we're going to put one shingle over there and then one shingle over here and one shingle over there. So we won't do a full shingling job, but we'll offset them. Okay, so now you come in and you go above the glue line. And the reason you glue that low, you see, we couldn't nail tabs that low. But now those nails are going to be covered. Come on in, let's get at least 3 of them on there. They're going to be totally covered by the shingles. Now, if you really want to do it carefully, you figure out exactly where the tabs are going to come and you nail where the tabs aren't going to be. Okay? In terms of getting that to fit in. So that's our starter strip. Then we're going to come back and do the shingling in the next one. But this you will put on this strip just to help the next challenge get underway. Okay, so we're going to actually make it. I want to show that to you. This is the most common error in roofing, is not having glue on the bottom of the roof. And that's the most common reason for the bottom shingles to rip off in the wind. See, the way the shingle really works is that it takes a certain amount of weight and a certain amount of temperature for that to glue. If in fact you're doing this in cold weather, it won't glue. And if you just leave it like that for the winter, it's probably so dirty by the time you get to the spring it'll never glue. So if you're doing it in cold weather where it's not going to be able to get its adhesion, you take roofing cement and you put little blobs under every tab where it's not going to glue. Now, you don't want to do that for the whole roof. That's why we don't roof with asphalt shingles in cold weather. Okay? It just doesn't work well. So that'll get you started so we can go on from there. Okay? That's the challenge. So find your stations. And goes to this guy.
Yep.
Any questions?
Okay. Here's your square.
Who do we got on the back one? They're so quiet. Guys and gals are so quiet. You had too much. Okay, now before we get started, let's make sure you got everything. You find your hook knives and roofing nails and hammer. We need the drill with a drill bit. We need the saw, the rip saw.
If you're missing one, let me know. I'll grab the other one.
And we need some safety glasses.
Do you have? Oh, you got one? You're good. Okay, thanks.
By the way, you can take home your hats and your glasses. Okay, now for now, let's do like I have on mine. Flip your paper up. That's for the next challenge. So we'll flip the paper out of the way, up over the top. You guys don't have to deal with that. Well, actually, it should be there for this first piece, shouldn't it?
Yeah, underneath, yeah.
Okay, so after you've cut the hole, before you put on the starter strip, we should have done that. We should have pulled this down before we put the chimney in. Yeah, okay. In fact, can we pop that off and straighten that up? Okay, so just a little sequence change to get it right is that you've tested your chimney, you've tested that all. We're going to put the paper back on, cut it around the hole, and then the shingle will actually go over the paper. Yeah.
Should we just pop these out? We can pop them
Well, you can either pop them out or we can cheat and cut the paper back.
Yeah.
So figure out where you want to cut the paper. Just put it down there. Where are your nails? Yeah, if you just cut it below the line here, we'll be all right. We're cheating as usual. So after we've tested the hole and everything, before you put on the starter strip, we'll throw the paper down to the bottom, and then it'll be attached on with the starter strip there. Oh, that's a very good shot. He's showing how it's supposed to be here, even though we're cheating the rest. It's like you've made sets before. Hey, that almost looks like we did it right. The judges will catch you if you do that.
Do you want to cut the hole out too?
Yeah, cut the hole out. And that's how you should end up with yours. In fact, because we got the time, what I'll have you do is when you finish the starter strip, put the chimney back in and attach that ring. So we'll actually have this down because the next group needs that chimney in place. So we'll attach the ring, we won't screw it in. So we'll do that down in, and we'll put that ring on so you'll know if it's well seated or not, because the ring simply won't work if it's not seated properly. So if is it? We got to get it down lower or not? You're going to come in? Yeah?
Yep, we're in.
Okay, we're pronounced right. So it should end up looking like that. Okay? So, everybody found their material, your saws, your roofing nails, your hammer, your knives? Because I don't want you wasting time looking for stuff. Okay? Okay, we're ready to go?
Really.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for it.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Now, leave that cap on top of your chimney because we don't want any dust from the cutting process to get on top of the chimney. As I mentioned in the last session, if you weren't here, the reason we have something, it could be a garbage bag over the top, I don't care. When you're cutting on the roof and the dust comes down, I guarantee it's going to fill the top of that chimney. I don't care what falls through the middle, but I don't want combustible sawdust between my two sections of chimney. Okay? So we want to make sure they're clean where the two sections of the chimney come together. And we leave that cap on. So you mark where you want to put that in the, cut through the top. And when you actually do the cutting, just make it a little bit bigger than where your marks are. Because in this case, error on the little bit bigger side is good. Gives you room to move. And it keeps the wood away from the hot chimney. Oh, you're going to measure it out. You don't want to drill through. You're convinced you know exactly how it goes. It's so much easier when you just punch a hole from underneath. Now you don't have to make it a perfect round. It could actually be square corners if you want. Everything's possible. Why don't you pull that paper right out of the way? Didn't draw it out at first?
No.
Draw it on the roof, then he knows where he's going. You got the holes through?
Yeah, the holes are through.
Okay, so take your pencil and draw it. Well, that hole is in the middle, right?
Yeah.
We don't care about the middle very much. We want to know where the edges are.
No, you're going down too far. The holes right here to up there.
Okay, what I usually do is, you see, did you make a hole up here? No.
Yeah, the hole's right here. Look.
Okay.
One there, and then there's one here. I think.
Well, the one in the middle, no, but this one is much too close. That's not in the right place here. You see, it's got to be up here from this thing up.
That's where I measured it from, though.
Yeah, but it,
Wait.
you see, if you put that in and you hug this, you're actually lower. Well, that's not too bad. Just make sure you go lower than that hole. And you haven't.
Just below the hole, Conrad.
Yeah, lower the hole about an inch.
Below the hole.
About an inch below the hole. Yeah. It's better to be a little too big than too little.
Yeah. Yeah, just below it.
Where's your hole on this side?
It's way over here.
Oh, okay. Take a pencil and draw around there. Know where you're going. Oh, they're moving there. Where's your square? Just want to see if we come up here. That's what I thought. You need to cut further down, you see? We're not, and how are we over here? Wow. Oh, see, you're at this point. We need to be out here to be safe, 2 inches away. So you need to drill a hole way out here. You got a pencil on you?
Yeah.
Mark it right there.
Is it not big enough?
Yeah, it's not big enough. Okay, so you mark that, and let's go mark this one. Come up, mark that one. This one's not bad. You're close. So just go bigger. That's the minimum, and I'd rather be bigger.
Just on the bottom?
Yeah, cut about here.
Okay, the rest is okay?
No, this is not. Drill a hole through for it. Take the drill and put a hole through for it. She's going to drill you a hole on the side there. We need 2 inches minimum between the wood and the chimney.
Okay. I got it here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them were too close. Oh, you guys are rock and roll. Now, do me a pleasure, since you got a lot of time. Trim this excess off. It'll end up breaking. Yeah, watch your fingers. You don't cut with a finger underneath. That's got a lot of room. Looking good. Ooh, do we have space here? Let me see it. Give me your square. If you look right here. Oh, you're good. Okay, I thought you weren't. Yeah, you're good. Okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. So you can cut that hole if you want to.
Huh?
You can cut that hole now. You can cut this with a. Okay. You got an X-Acto knife there? Well, that would work. Yeah. Or there is another one in the tool bag, but just pull this tight and hug the hole. Yeah, that cuts easy. Oh, he's going to nail it down, and then he's going to trim it. rings in place. Hey, we got some of them all done. How much time we got left on that clock? We're doing 10 minutes. My God. We didn't make this tough enough.
Where's your drip edge?
It should be there.
Yeah, okay.
But we don't even have rain gutters. We don't even have rain gutters. Why do we want a drip edge? Somebody raised the issue that we didn't put our drip edge in. Well, we didn't put our rain gutters in either. But we didn't put elastomeric on there either. So changing some of that.
Okay, we're done.
You're done. Okay. You want to lift off the shield? And how close are we here? You have almost gone too far, huh?
Yeah.
That's close. It'll work, but that means we're going to be fairly weak underneath right there, but at least the metal covers it. You're right on the limit. Okay, almost done. Pardon? No, we need that for the next. Is that fitting on? Something's not working. Are we backwards or not? No, that should be right. What? What is it? Sorry about that. Doesn't want to come down tight enough. Andrew, you want to come take a look at this one? What do we got? We might have the other chimney upside down. Let's pull that up for a minute. There's something not matching here. No, that should be right. And
You need to compress it pretty.
you need to compress it. You want to help him out and get that down?
Sure.
Okay, this is an interesting case where the insulation is moved enough that they're having trouble getting the two tubes together. So you need to really work on that. Okay, is that fitting? And you're missing the ring. And it needs to squish down some too. So where is the ring? There's the ring. Okay. Yeah, let's pop this open.
Okay,
Oh, we can slide it from, you drop it from the top, but that's okay. Okay, now you got to force that down a bit. Oh, there you're getting there. Now try the ring. You're getting there. No, try it. Just, I think you're there. You see how that's fitting?
oh, okay.
And so this goes over the top, that goes inside. Squeeze it in. And then we got to come together. It doesn't want to go in quite smooth. It's not in, okay, we're not quite squeezed down.
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Andrew, you want to try this one? This guy took wet training for some reason. We're going to put him to work. Same insulation problem. So, and that's an interesting thing to see because that insulation moves. And if you pack it, if you shake it down too far, you're going to have trouble joining them. You're going to have to force it down because that has to be tight enough. And the good thing is the ring won't let you do it wrong. The ring won't go on if it's not forced down properly. Did that go in? Okay. So they're all right there. They don't look like they have 2-inch clearance on their sides, do they? They opened it up bigger, but not far enough, huh? Huh? Oh, it's just the paper? Okay. Okay. So they did make it big enough. It's just the paper was not cut big enough. Made it look like they didn't do it right. So now they've still got a couple of minutes. We got 6 minutes left, so we'll let them put that starter strip on. We got a starter strip going, working over here.
Oops, sorry, Jordan. What you want to do is line up your tab right there.
Actually, why don't
No,
you could actually nail it in first. Some of the guys are doing that, and it was a lot easier to work with. If you line this, bring that down, bring blue line down like this one. See, like just a little bit higher, just about like that. And then if you nail it in now, you can cut that off real easy.
Okay.
Okay, girls, you still got 5 minutes, so let's just see if that covers the hole. Yes, yes, yes. Now let's get the starter strip, and you'll be able to complete it on time. Now here's the thing that they're showing us, a little trick. Bring it over and we'll nail it on first and then cut it. And then it's sturdy. We're not fighting with it. So if you line the glue up right close to the bottom.
What's that? Where's the hammer?
Now you see what I'm doing? I'm bringing the notch here right to the edge. See that notch? I'm bringing that right to the edge. So set that in just above the glue line. Yeah. This lady knows how to swing a hammer. Don't mess with her. And one in the middle. Then you got your special knife there? Yeah. When you're using the knife, you don't put your fingernails underneath. Now, one little detail when you're shingling is you really want to put your nails in flat. If you put them in an angle, it cuts the shingle. They bite in, and then that weakens the whole hold. If you come down nice and flat, it comes in. That's why I hate staples for shingles. Some people staple their shingles, but the staple sometimes is deeper, sometimes it's higher, and it doesn't have the same holding power. Okay, we're moving along, and the last one over there, we still got 3 minutes, so you're going to be able to finish on time. All you got to do is cut it off. Now, by the way, if you're ever worried about the nailing pattern or any of the details on the shingles, it's on every package of shingles. It's written right on the package, all the specifications. So you'll get, remember we keep talking about follow the manufacturer's instructions. It's all there. When I take a look at one of these. In fact, it's in pretty bad shape here, but there's a whole book written on the back here that has all the details you could ever want about those shingles and what you're supposed to do and the instructions and the warnings and all that. So the nailing pattern and everything is there. They don't have any pretty pictures on this one. That's what I always want to follow. Done, done, done. Almost done. That one's done. We're all done. Everybody's finished. And we have 2 minutes left. So now we'll let the judges take a look at that. And while we're doing that, you guys want to pop those shields off. That way the judges can see the hole better, and we need the shields off for the next session anyway. So not the shield, it's flashing. Now at 6 o'clock, we'll come back and roast marshmallows under the chimney. Now you can see a wide variety of holes in there. But they all work. What you don't want is a hole to be so far away, so far out. That one's is limit. The metal shield covers the hole, but just barely. But you got the mic over there? But so that can still work. But you do need 2 inches of clearance for fire clearance. So you don't want to come up, hug it close, but you won't want to get too far away either. Okay. Here, I got that. And you can deal with the microphone.
Okay, we're ready, on.
Let's do it. What's up?
Okay, after careful consideration, inspection, team number 1 over here.
Right over here.
Don't have their names yet. Who are their names there, Severio?
Who's team number 1? Come on.
Okay.
Conrad and Brian.
Hey, congratulations.
There you go, some work belts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good work. Now, we're back. When are we back for the next session is going to be at 3 o'clock. And we'll be doing the rest of the shingling. And then we got to do put that flashing back on. We're going to do some work with that, finish this thing off. And then some special stuff. You do want to come because there's a real special rainproofing detail that goes above that flashing. And we'll see that in a way that I never saw it before, but the company, the chimney company, taught me something new. Okay, see you then.